This video is intended purely to communicate information in accordance with the right of free speech.
Any advice given is a suggestion, and anyone seeking such advice should consult a competent professional.
All statements made in this video are my own honest opinion, and they do not represent any other person or body. As such, sharing matters covered in this video is in public interest. Hi. Fancy meeting you here. Fancy meeting you here in this little old place. I'm Tish, and this is Echo Echo. I was watching this video. Where was it on? It wasn't on TikTok. I tried to make a TikTok video today. What the hell have they done over there? Like, you can't make a video, like, continuing to film in the background if it's not the right time. It was really annoying because friends, lend me your ears because Christy X Ord of Enagic, she's pro-Trump. When I heard that, I was like, oh, it's on sight. Like, if I see her, I am going to have a conversation with her. Just a conversation, all right? Because she claims to be feminist, pro-woman. She's got this lovely little TikTok about, reel about how 50 years ago women couldn't have a bank account and now they can be millionaires. You didn't realize how much he hates women and his people hate women and the women who love him hate women. So I was really pissed off about that. Anyway, looking through the things of Facebook, it's late and I should go to bed because although it was Sunday, right, I went to bed. Probably I would have fallen asleep about 4 a.m. And then I thought that our stream started at midday, but it started at 1, so I got up earlier than I should have. Really, that was only like 5 or 6 hours sleep, so I'm tired. And good stream. It was fun. It was so fun. It was really fun. Say fun again. Yeah, check it out, Bomb Party. We're gonna do that again for surezies because it was great. Good, not serious one, because life is serious, which is what I'm covering now. So on Facebook, I was going to tell you about, so I saw this video about how I think you can have like reflexive joints or something like that. And there were all these things that meant that you have like reflexive joints. That's probably not the right saying. I don't know I can't remember what it was, but it was like, like you sort of like, you can put your arm like this and blah, blah, blah. But one of them was when you wash up, like when you're doing at the sink or whatever, you end up with water all over your shirt. And I'm like, that's me. That's how I worked out I might be like neurodivergent spoons, or ADHD. Thanks, the internet. And I'm like, but I don't think I can do like you can bend your arm all the way back and shit like that. And I'm like, but it explains the wet shirt. Does anyone else? Anyone? Please let me know. Because I'm like, am I just an idiot? I mean, that's for sure. I've been on Blue Sky. Join me on Blue Sky, please. Erin's over there too. It's political, which is probably why I've been losing subscribers. But I don't care because guess what? Anti-MLM work is political. It just is. Like, literally, it touches every part of your life. Like, finances, health, everything. That's everything right there. Yeah. Where was I going with that? Oh, so anyway, political. I'm going to be starting a podcast. Hopefully, I'm going to have a podcast co-host. I have asked somebody to be my podcast co-host, and I hope he says yes. That's always like kind of nerve-wracking, right? That's how I was with the Clown Town when I said, "Do you want to start a podcast?" It's very like, Anyway, this introduction is a mess, and I've been talking for 5 minutes. Shut up and get on with the video. All right. The podcast is going to be called The Take, and it's going to be about political takes and who is on the take, who's dodgy, like focusing on Australian politics because we have a federal election coming up and hello, we don't want what to happen to happen. So I think it's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to be like America. It's just that like the guy who's running, Peter Dutton, I'm going to put a picture of him on the screen right now. Tell me he couldn't be a body double for Voldemort. Anyway, there is a Facebook group called the Batshit Crazy Cookers, and they cover people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, but in Australia. And so they cover the woo-woo water people and, you know, all the energetic people. So I always have a look on there. Anyway, I found this dude. His name is Nate. No, what was it? Oh God, he calls himself an Aussie warrior. Nate Max. It was Nate Max. Okay. And Nate Max, he's selling Lifewave. He's not selling an addict because he's got something other woo-woo water thing that he sells, but it's not an addict, but he is selling Lifewave patches. So that's what we're going to watch. It says it's part 2, but I don't know if he's got part 1. Hang on. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I should watch part 1. Okay, hang on. Med Bed Tech Inner Patch. Let me show you the screen so then you can see. All right, so this is his. Yeah, I think he does this whole like it's a grift. It's a woo-woo grift. Oh, has he really got Papyrus text as his font? Oh my God. For my new podcast, guess how long I spent trying to choose a font for it? Probably 3 hours. I spent a long time looking for it. All right. Branding matters. All right, hang on. I'm gonna get... Oh, hang on. Wrong one. So, he is with Lifewave. We'll see what he says. Am I doing 2 Lifewave videos in a row? No, I did a Kristen Wyatt one. Oh, and a Ray Ray. Check them out. Check it out. It's like 11 o'clock at night. This is the last week of term for me. I'm on school holidays soon. I get it, because this term is 11 weeks long, and I put in my long service leave a while ago. I'm working on an embroidery. It says, it's a present for Val. Or girls, because I'm going to give them another present. Another embroidery that I did. That's really the picture that's your cartoon picture? I swear, if that thing was true about like when the wind blows and your face freezes, today would have been a bad day for that. I'm looking at some ugly jewelry. There was not a good ring amongst them. When I watch DC's streams on Beep Bomb Party, I'll usually like 1 or 2, or not hate it. Do you know what I love most about this? Is that he's in a pyramid scheme, in my opinion, Australian, litigious, watching myself, and he's got a pyramid in his like little cartoon branding of who he is with this Papyrus Nate TV thing. And what's getting beamed up to the aliens there? Does he have like... thought it looked like he had like needles in the back. The truth shall set you free. Well, the truth... what about the truth about pyramid schemes? Now, the problem is these people in Australia, and this is Christy and Clint as well, they're pretending to be hippies. This hippy-dippy crunchy shit, right? The crunchy to alt-right, it's so dangerous, okay? It's like so dangerous. That's not what being the true traditional hippie is about. So it's probably better that my TikTok didn't record, because I went off my nut. I was like, she's a fucking idiot. And she is, but it's maybe a bit too much. Oh, I am going to make a video about it, but more measured.
All right, beautiful people, welcome back. It's Nate Max here, and I have a lovely woman called Nisha Harding on, and we're going to talk today about something new technology, but it definitely is, I guess you could call it quantum tech. It's been around for a couple of years, but
quantum tech is quantum tech, right, everybody? Yeah, quantum tech.
Really started to grab traction now. They are Lifewave patches. Nisha's really been on this road for quite a long period of time, in the early adoption phase. Now, I've been using these things for a while as well, and you guys would know they've got a whole bunch of pretty unique products on my website, and I don't really get anything unless it's either, on the quantum edge, or there's something to do with it that makes it a lot better than the other one. So this product actually works really well with all the other stuff I've got going on, and I have been getting good results from it. there's a lot of things people that do send me. A lot of people send me stuff all the time to try, and I know a lot of things you take them and you may not necessarily be like, oh, I feel crazy the next day because you're deficient, whatever. Certain products do, like people take CBD, for example. A lot of people have really good results immediately. Other things, you're taking it and it's working in the background. But this one for me was very obvious, and my girlfriend's been using it as well. And I was also putting it on my dog during the final stages, and I noticed it's getting some really...
I'm sorry, what? You're putting it on your dog? Is it recommended for animals? No, the fuck, you should not be doing that. A dog can't consent to that. Fuck all the way off. Then no, fuck all the way off. I don't care what you think it does. You're an adult. You can consent to that. A fucking dog can't consent to that. How fucking... Oh. It's on site now with him. But, like, what does that mean? Oh, you know, this goes with all my other products. Or everything I got going on. What the fuck you got going on? Like, oh, it's a quantum product. What the fuck? Like, do you have a science degree? Nate Max? Where'd your analysis come from? Where's the research? Oh, I cannot believe that he's putting this on a dog. I fucking hate that.
really deep sleeps as well. So we're going to talk about these Lifewave patches. They are pretty incredible. I think by the end of this presentation, you guys are going to be pretty interested. It's a whole new way of healing, and honestly, I feel like we should have this stuff and should have had this stuff a long time ago. I've always had visions of, you know, you stand in a doorway and there's some sort of a beam coming down, you walk in and out, and it just reorganizes your DNA. Like the stuff that we've seen in the movies, that's kind of where we should be. And obviously, a lot of the good technology is being held back from us, and we're still dabbling around with alcohol-based Chinese herbs and things like that. And they do work. These things all do work, and everything is a stepping stone. Now, and this product will probably resonate with you people who are more on the quantum edge, as opposed to people who are questioning whether we should be drinking tap water or not, you know, and that's totally fine. It's all stepping stones. There's lots of products to get you up to this point. So I'll take it over to Misha, and she's going to give us a really good rundown.
It's just a grift. It's just a grift. What is quantum? While quantum refers to a general quantity or size, it is most often used in physics as a measure of the smallest amount of something, usually energy that something can possess. What does the quantum edge mean then? Do you know what I mean? Because that's what he's selling. What a pile of shit. And obviously he's doing okay. But this is I'm just still thinking of the dog, to be honest.
What it is, where it came from, and especially a little bit about the guy who created it. Pretty incredible mind. A couple, I think over 100 patents. So yeah, very, very interesting guy. And
Yeah, guess what, dickhead? Anyone can apply for a patent. Doesn't mean it's fucking any good. Am I going to be a little bit more savage than I might normally be? Yup. Yep.
thanks for joining us, Misha. Much appreciated.
Oh, thanks so much, Nate. It's such a privilege to, be on this platform. It's always very exciting to be able to share this top technology, but even greater, it's incredibly important and so exciting when we can all come together, especially when we've been walking such a similar journey. And many of us have been walking this journey for a very long time. So for myself, like you said, you covered things, nailed it so well. Like there are many, many things that are very helpful along the way. I've been in the wellness space, and my interest has been there pretty much since I finished university, when I had a immune crash and I had chronic fatigue and some other things happened. And so I had to start to very, very quickly learn about rebuilding myself, because of course, the doctor sitting at home saying, you need to take Valium is not great when you've got high levels of dieldrin in your system and things like that.
Could you have gotten an alternative diagnosis, or, have a different conversation with a different doctor? I can't imagine any doctor prescribing Valium for chronic fatigue, because you need energy. Valium doesn't give you energy, so your story's bullshit from the get-go. These people, like Christy always talks about, I was in stage 5 adrenal fatigue, I had stage 7 fucking adrenal fatigue. Were you stressed? Did you have stress? Is that what it was? Yeah. Does all the money make you happy though? Does that make you happy? Because the videos seem to indicate that it makes you happy. But yeah, and I am dubious of anyone who says they work in the wellness space.
So for me, one of the things that in the last few years that had happened was, of course, we've heard about the advent of things coming along, and there'd been little rumours about let's call them rumours about medbeds coming along and things. And I thought, well, it's finally time, and here we are. It's coming. We're coming into that area where we're going to be able to use light, where we are going to be able to use frequency, and where basically that's going to be the way where our DNA is going to be repaired. So
If these people actually cared about this shit, then they would like put research into real things, like repairing your DNA through light. I just like the research isn't there, like. And what's a med bed? I have never heard of that, so I'm gonna research it. I'm look. That's why I grabbed the iPad, because I want to look up who she is. Yeah. It's a grift. It's a grift. It's a grift. Do I think that they actually do all this shit? Yep, but it's still a grift.
but here we are down the track, and that still isn't here. But what did happen was, by this patch, and these are what the outer sleeves look like, the one that Nate held up, and the patches themselves are just tiny little, they look like little white woo-woo little band-aids. But this technology is phenomenal. What the patches do, I'll first explain what they do, and then I'll explain a little bit about my journey and everything that's happened since, if that's all right.
Yes, go for it.
So
Yeah, of course it is. We're gonna have a look at what a med bed is, because I think that's important. Oh, why did I open this fucking screen? I do not want this screen. I haven't been using Google Chrome, BT dubs. I didn't think that we'd be this far into conspiracies, but here we are. Truth about med beds. A miracle cure that doesn't exist. Now, I don't know what that... Tesla Medbed Center. Look at this shitty motel. I'm going to put this on bigger. I do not have enough room for my mouse to work. One Tesla biohealing facility is in converted motel in a small town in the Mississippi River. Yeah, it looks shitty. I have to say that. Oh, I can't believe how stupid this is. These people. What's wrong with what? COVID broke so many brains. Like, it was just like a really bad version of the flu that killed people. We found that they found a fucking vaccine for, and they wanted people to take the vaccine if they were not immunocompromised, okay? And you did have the choice not to take it. There were just consequences for the choice, right? Which is life. That's all it was. And people have just lost their entire minds. Strange corners of the internet are awash with chatter about miracle devices that can cure nearly any ailment you can think of using the power of mystical energy. I have insects crawling on me because the light, I think there must be an open window somewhere and there's lots of light here. Some companies charge thousands for these med beds, but their claims are far from proven. Yeah. Do they charge thousands? I'm so shocked that it's a grift. Oh my God. A converted motel in a small town on the Mississippi River seems an unlikely home for the world-changing technology. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's almost like it doesn't fucking exist. What a flyer in the mostly deserted lobby calls a new wave of scientific healing. But since last summer, this building in East Dubuque, Illinois, 3 hours west of Chicago, has been outfitted with medical devices that supposedly imbue patients with life force energy. It's one of a number of locations run by Tesla Biohealing. No relation to the car company. What a surprise that they would use the word Tesla. Anyway, dotted around the US. I tried out a med bed on a recent gloomy weekday afternoon after being greeted at the front desk, and so this person actually tried it. A doctor tested my energy levels. What sort of doctor? That's interesting. By having me place my finger inside a metal box. Then I was ushered into one of the rooms, mostly unchanged from its motel days, and I waited for pure biophoton life force energy to stream into my body. Yeah, it does look like a motel room. The idea of med beds, short either for medical beds or meditation beds, has become increasingly popular on fringe medical channels, on mainstream social networks and chat apps. But people have very different ideas about what they actually are. Some insist that technology is secret, unlikely to be encountered by mere mortals, hidden from the public by billionaires and the deep state. The more conspiratorial theorizing includes speculation about alien technology and bizarre claims like the idea that John F. Kennedy is still alive, strapped to a med bed. I just think the human race, we just need to not exist anymore. Like, we had a good run, you know, we had a good run, and we fucked it all up, and that's it, we're done. Okay, anyway. A separate, more earthly avenue of thought holds that medbeds are very real and publicly available, just not part of the medical mainstream. It's this strand that Tesla Biohealing and a range of other companies are staking their rather expensive claims. Tesla Biohealing offers home generators for prices up to $19,999, £16,500. Although an hour in one of the medbed motel rooms will only set you back $160. That's a lot. I think most people, if they would like to actually see a sex worker for $160, you come out feeling a lot better. But even in the consumer-focused medbed world, where there is no talk of aliens or JFK, there's disagreement about what a medbed actually is, and there's a very good reason for that, says Sarah Aneo, a disinformation analyst at the Anti-Defamation League's Center on Extremism. The ADL has had some really shitty Zionist takes lately, so I'm not really thrilled that they're we'll just go with it. It's 2022. Gaza still exists in this reality. It's really hard to define something that doesn't exist, she said. That's pretty good. Miss Ananeo has been researching the spread of medbed chat online as a part of her inquiry, signed up for a trial with a different medbed company, 9010. The trial is nothing, she says. It tells you to lay on your bed and think really hard about the medbed. In their defense, they do list on their website, in very fine print down the bottom, that the medbed is not meant to treat or diagnose illnesses, she says. It's a common disclaimer that we saw used in some form by just about every company offering medbed-related products. Even though companies put a long list of ailments that can supposedly be helped by their technologies and provide testimonials from satisfied customers, they say that their products are not meant to replace treatments by qualified doctors. Well, there you go. I bet you a lot of people do that instead of going to doctors, which is so fucking dangerous. And this is only going to get worse under RFK Jr. Tesla Biohealing, and RFK Jr. is a fucking lawyer. He is a lawyer. He caused people to die from medical misinformation when there was a measles outbreak in Samoa. Imagine that in America. Tesla Biohealing is no exception. The top of the company's website clearly states we cannot diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. That's what every MLM says too. And yet, their promotional material states many people will note improvements in their well-being, even after only an hour of resting on a Tesla medbed. That's such a scam. You're just laying on a bed for an hour? That's so scammy. Fuck it. Why not? If people, like, maybe they just really needed a fucking nap, you know? Okay. They also make a number of specific, unsupported claims about particular diseases. The staff at the Tesla Biohealing Motel in East Dubuque told me about legions of customers with all manner of ailments, of all whom had been helped by med beds. Oh, look, good. There's a picture of a laptop. Good. That is very scientific. But in my room, I felt nothing more than curiosity and a slight sense of unease as I gazed out the window at a mostly empty car park. The Tesla medbed canisters were sealed in wooden boxes and a bedside table. Cutting short my hour, I returned to the doctor's office where she repeated the test with my fingers in the metal box. Sure enough, my energy, as measured by the doctor's laptop, was already rising, but neither the doctor nor anyone else at Tesla Biohealing could tell me what was inside the medbed canisters themselves. Some Enterprising customers have taken it upon themselves to try and find out. We came across a TikTok video where an upset punter appears to have opened up a canister only to find a concrete-like substance. For anyone who's thinking about buying one of these Tesla biohealers, don't waste your money, she says. The company wouldn't be drawn in on what active ingredients, if any, are inside the canisters. But they told us in an email there is much more going on with our technology than meets the eye. Shouldn't you have, like, ingredients and crap, you know? And while they said that Tesla canisters were not intended to replace a doctor's care, they also made further claims of cures and said health benefits are priceless. Both Tesla Biohealing and 90.10 pointed us to thousands of positive customer testimonials, and despite the prominent claim on the company website that 9010 offers quantum frequency medicine with scientific proof, 9010 Chief Executive Oliver Schultz told us it's not a medical product and was never intended to be. What? How then are the medbed companies allowed to offer their products, hint at miraculous effects but escape any regulatory oversight? $2,000 for this medbed. Wow. Dr. Stephen Barrett, a retired psychiatrist who has been investigating questionable claims for decades, says the healthcare regulator in the United States, the FDA, is partly to blame. FDA registration is required by any manufacturer who wants to market products, but it just means that you have notified the FDA that you exist, he says. Tesla Biohealing and other companies advertise that they are FDA registered, but that is next to meaningless, right? FDA registration says nothing about whether the device is useful, says Dr. Barrett. When it comes to making vague claims about general well-being or unprovable statements about increased energy, authorities do almost nothing about it, he says. Yeah, that sounds about right. When it comes to making vague claims about general well-being or unprovable statements about increased energy, authorities do... is that what I said? Already? He speaks with a note of weariness, perhaps because of a lack of biophotons. I like the tone of this article from the BBC. But more likely the result of spending decades tackling dubious health claims. Do I think that exposure to whatever it is they're giving you in the beds is going to make you more energetic? I seriously doubt that, he says. Indeed, as I began a long evening drive home from East Dubuque under cloudy skies, I felt distinctly lacking in life force energy. No, how sad. So that's what a medbed is. I'm so glad I went down that little rabbit hole there, because that just makes me think that these people are idiots. It's just like confirmed. All right. Now it's the same with the Lifewave stuff. They can say they're FDA, approved a lot, all the crap. But it doesn't mean anything. And they didn't say it in the article, but I'm going to go with the placebo effect. If you think something is happening and you think that something is like going to benefit you and you go in it with a positive mindset, then it's more than likely, going to be good. It just is. Okay. Let's keep going.
Thanks. So basically, these patches were designed by an amazing human being, David Schmidt. He's a scientist and an inventor. And he started the technology, it's actually 19 years worth of, nearly 20 years worth of cumulative research. And that was when he was first commissioned by the US government to create technology to keep the Navy SEALs awake. So he cracked into the start of what was to become this patch, because it's all photobiomodulation, which is light therapy, using the body's own light. Anyway, so he cracked into this technology. Meantime, 9/11 came along, government withdrew funding, and he was left there with the start of this incredible technology. And it was obviously, like, the universe steers us exactly where we need to be. So he then went off on his own and he continued this technology. The first patches that he created are called the energy and endurance patches. They were actually picked up by the US Olympic team coaches. They were checked out at Stanford University and stuff. The US Olympic team started to patch. I don't know if you remember, Nate, and some of you, the guys watching this, is that in 2008, Phelps and the swim team.
The only thing I can find about the Lifewave patches, or about patches, this says there's a swim patch. Okay, if they were so good, why isn't everybody using them? All athletes? They aren't, okay? And I'm only seeing 2004. All right. Athlete's destiny changed. No. Oh, it's like there's Lifewave propaganda in here. All right. In that, oh, they use them and they're so good. Okay, so inquiry over Stanford swimmers patch. Oh my God, she did say Stanford because there's another one down here that maybe is a typo that says Stanford. Now, I know I saw one or two, like one girl who was wearing Lifewave patches at the Olympics. Okay, let me have a look. So, it was only in 2004. Is that when Phelps was swimming? I thought he was after that. All right. Stanford, California, July 3rd. Small patches worn by 6 Stanford women swimmers at the Olympic trials in Long Beach earlier this month aroused so much suspicion among other swimmers and coaches for the USA. Swimming officials have been sent samples to USADA for testing. The 6 swimmers, both of whom Tara and Dana Cope, both of whom made the Olympic team, plus these other ones. The story was first reported, blah, blah, blah. The trials were not the first time the Stanford swimmers wore the patches. They also wore them to the NCAA championships in March. Championship is spelled with 2 A's. David Schmidt, president of the company that makes Lifewave Energy Enhancer, said the patches worn. Oh, they weren't even like that was sort of a different name then. The patches worn on the swimmer's shoulders contain only amino acids and water-based solutions. That's not what they say is in it now. They say it's light therapy. They say it's stem cells. Like, that's not what they say at the moment. According to Schmidt, the patches are designed to stimulate acupuncture points electronically, inserting current into the body to help an athlete improve stamina. No substance enters the body. Schmidt, and this fucking article is really poorly written. Dismisses as ridiculous charges by one unnamed coach that the patches contain testosterone. Yeah, that is ridiculous. I agree. USA Swimming spokesperson Mary Wagner confirmed that the national team director Everett asked Stanford women's coach Richard Quick for samples. These samples were then sent to the USADA for testing. Quick, a 3-time Olympic head coach who serves as an assistant for the US teams in Athens, defended the patches as a new training device he began using earlier this year. Quick said it was not a concern at all that samples were sent. We're not trying to hide anything because it's out there in broad daylight. Okay, but like, doesn't say it had any effects. And I'm not saying Michael Phelps. I don't think Michael Phelps used it. Yeah, no. This is a lie. Maybe she doesn't know it's a lie, but it's a lie. There is something about Michael Phelps, but they're talking about cupping. Has anyone ever had cupping? As I thought it was going to be, because I'd been like driving from Brisbane to Melbourne. Man, I was bad. I was so much in pain. Yeah, no. Can't see it. There is no proof. There's no proof that Michael Phelps wore Lifewave patches.
Did their personal best. 7 of them, I think it was 7 out of 8 on their first day of patching.
There's no proof of this. There's absolutely no proof of it. I just looked for it. Okay? Because it would be in every swimming, if it's not performance enhancing, right? Every swimmer would have it. Like every athlete. It's ridiculous.
Anyway, so they really got the attention of the US Olympians and stuff, and so the Olympic team's been patched for about a decade and a half with those.
I thought you were going to talk about the Chinese swimmers back in the day, the women who were using human growth, and they all had man voices.
Oh.
Different experience.
Yeah, it sure was a different experience. And do you know that a lot of our favourite men, a lot of the favourites of the men on the crunchy side of conspiratorial side take human growth hormone? It's just so funny that they're so transphobic, and most of them take part in gender affirming care. Just for them, though. Rules for me, but not for thee. Right.
Yeah, oh man, that
They're like
was
7 foot
yeah.
tall as well. Yeah.
Yeah, like yeah. Anyway, that's another topic.
Yeah, guess what? There are women who like Imani Khalif. You know, like there's some strong women out there who work hard on their bodies. Yeah.
But so down the track, you created some other patches and what the patches do is they activate a particular peptide in the body, each patch, to get a specific result. So we've all heard, you think back to Christopher Reeve. Do you remember when he had that accident, Nate? And like he was really in the pioneering part of, this stem cell. There was always the talk about stem cell technology. So we've heard about it for a very, very long time. And so what this does is it's 10 years of research. They told him that that couldn't be done, that you could reboot our body's own pluripotent cells, our own stem cells. But anyway, he knows, he actually just gets downloads continually. So he continued to research this. He cracked the technology. It took him a decade. He put in $4.5 million. And in 2020, this patch was patented and it came to Australia in October 2022. So what the patch does is it's literally using our own body's own light. When the patch comes near our body, it doesn't even have to be stuck onto our body's own, because we are beings of light. So that light activates it.
There's no proof that the American teams use Lifewave patches in the Olympics. And if all of this, don't look at how fat Mabel is, okay? She's too fat. Again, I thought she was pregnant. I think Matthew was too young again. So no puppies. If this was what it is supposed to be, oh my God, I've been filming for 57 minutes and I'm only 8 minutes into this fucking video. That's going to be a long one, peeps. If it was this, everybody would be, like, he would be winning the Nobel Peace Prize. Why is he selling it through an MLM? Like, why? Why isn't it just for sale? Right? It's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. And I'm just sick of this shit. I'm sick of MLM's shit. That's why we're here, Tish. Okay, let's keep going.
Principally our infrared light. So when it becomes activated, it reflects our body's own light back into us. And what happens then is that sends a message to our system saying, hey, body, elevate your copper peptide, which is our GHKCU. So it's pretty much like, when we go out in the sun, we step out in the sun hits our skin, sends a message to us saying, hey, elevate your vitamin D. We're not going out and getting an injection of anything. So exactly the same as this. This is non-transdermal, big thing for our body, of course. Nothing goes into the body. All it is it's sending a signal saying,
is it a big thing for your community? Because like I said, there's a lot of people who don't mind a jab from human growth hormone and testosterone and things like that. They don't mind those jabs, right? So ridiculous. I don't know why Mabel's panting. Can you see that? There's Christmas. We got Christmas blanket there.
your copper peptide, and it's the copper peptides that reboot our inactive stem cells. So I have certainly, despite all my research that I've done around wellness and the space that I've been in and all the bodywork practitioners that I've hung out with and do good stuff with, most of us didn't know that by the time we're 30, half our stem cells are already dormant, which ain't fun, but by the time we're 60, they're pretty much all done and dusted and they're inactive. So of course, that's when, if you haven't got any active stem cells, you're entering the aging funnel in a very accelerated way. And you get to the point where, you're not healing as quickly and the wheels start to fall off and different things like that.
Yeah.
So when the patch found me, yeah, it's pretty nuts.
It's same with.
Isn't it pretty nuts that they found you looking for a fucking, like, somebody who's going to believe their shit, including that the entire Olympic team is on Lifewave patches? Also, guess you can buy copper peptides. There's one from The Ordinary. It's you can buy it as an oil. Copper amino isolate serum. Oh, $110 is quite expensive, but so are the patches. Oh, yeah, there you go. You can get one from Mugu Skin. You can get one from Derma Clinicals. The ordinary one is 30 milliliters and it is $41. So, yeah, you can get go away. An advanced, so copper peptide, BT dubs, is for Let me have a look. Targets wrinkles, elasticity, firmness, and antioxidant support. So, instead of a patch, right, you can just use the serum.
Testosterone and human growth hormone therapy, like the testosterone at age 30, 35, men are lacking their tests, and all these things are actually tied to the stem cells and the DNA. Like that's the top part of it, the electrical charge of the cell, and then everything kind of goes down from that. So what you're doing with these patches, essentially, you're rebooting the thing right at the core issue, as opposed to there's already a breakdown going on. There might be 10 different things that we're trying to then catch up to get back to where we were originally. So it's kind of like rebooting and putting it back into the original blueprint, I guess would be another way of describing it. A little bit like the way this, I've got a scalar machine at my house, a Dr. Sandra Rose one. And yeah, that's kind of a little bit what that does, but a bit older technology. And that is
Dr. Sandra Oh, like the actress. When these people talk about stuff, like it's not even a basic level of science,
very noticeable. I mean, very, very noticeable. People have like miracle results and stuff, jump ins machines, and these patches just almost seem like a little cheaper version of that. Because not everyone has $125,000 US to buy a healing machine for their house,
Yeah, dead right. And one of the things that really struck me was when I found out these patches are non-transdermal, that the body's doing, it activates that response in the body, and then the body works down its own priority list, because we've got that innate knowledge of, as your stem cells reboot, of where they need to go down the body's own tick list. But also, like the fact that it's out for after all that technology and what it is, and nothing else like it exists in the world, and it's for the cost of a cup of coffee. There is a very vastly different picture around this being able to get out to the whole world.
Yeah, there's one more thing.
And
it's really reminded me that copper peptides. I've got a signal chat with about 150 people in there, and it's all healers and health professionals and all the rest of it. We've had a bunch of very, very long conversations around copper and the importance of copper, and how they've also almost made copper this thing where copper's toxic, and then the copper connects to iron as well. Everyone thinks you need iron, but actually it's a deficiency in copper, and copper actually creates the energetic charge as well. Copper is like an incredibly healing mineral. And it's something that obviously with gold as well, copper and gold were these things that the ancients used. We use it for charging electricity, obviously, copper wires. You have copper wires in your electricity lines. Same with gold. Gold's good for connecting and connectivity. It's a very interesting, I guess, conversation. And it's a really good thing you could read called, I think it's called Copper, the Healing Miracle, but I've had it sent to me a few times and read through it all. And it's just funny that this is doing that without actually taking the copper. It's activating the internal copper, because I believe that, we can do all of our healing internally. Most people out there would have seen people like Joe Dispenza and meditation teachers and yogis and people who have been practicing that deep inner work. Like, they heal their bodies without taking herbs, without doing detox.
Do they heal their bodies like that? Because we watched Jessie Lee Ward die before our eyes, doing all of this shit. And it kept her energized until it didn't. And when it came, it was fucking bad. And it's just, people are suffering because of this shit that these people are peddling, And I don't understand where this mistrust comes from. It's just, it's like, why would they be hiding? I mean, like, I don't trust the government all of the time. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that researchers and doctors essentially, like, except for those that are sponsored, like, America's a different cup of tea. Australia, like, we've had such a bad run with sun cancer that is something that is really important to Australian cancer doctors and cancer researchers to cure. And people think that that's not, like, people like, oh, they don't want to cure because they make so much money from the treatment. And it's like, I don't know how you can be so cynical. And it's easy to be cynical, I must admit, these days, but it's not happening the way these people are saying. And it's not fair that they can say this with such conviction, fooling people, and that's why I'm here to say that. I mean, so I had a dentist. I went to the dentist, and I have bad teeth. I do. And the dentist said to me, well, we're going to have to pull out all your teeth, and you're going to have dentures. Would you like to start doing that today? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, no, I wouldn't like to start doing that today. And I'm like, I know my teeth are bad, but guess what? I got a second opinion. Didn't have to have all my teeth out, right? And I don't think that first dentist was saying that to, like, dentists get their money. Like, they were going to get my money. Like, the dentists were going to get paid. So it wasn't about that. It was just like, she didn't have the knowledge that the other dentist did to say that, okay, I can save this tooth and I can save this tooth and I have a partial denture, And yeah, it's just ridiculous that there are people like this who are quoting Joe Dispenza, not a medical doctor, by the way.
Things like that, because they're actually activating the energetic charge as opposed to putting all these things in the physical body. So it's a very interesting product that obviously I've got a lot of information around these things, and it kind of like seems to link in quite well with everything that I've researched so far.
It's amazing in that way, Nate, because of the fact that it works in harmony and with things. And David Schmidt, he's a scientist and inventor, he's an extraordinary man. And on his journey, like when I started patching 14 months ago in January last year, he had 130 worldwide patents. So by October, they had a convention called the Heart to Heart Convention to celebrate 19 years of the company. And by then he had 180. So he is creating.
Who cares? Who cares how many patents he has? It doesn't mean shit. It honestly doesn't mean shit. Anyone can apply for a patent. No one's after your technology, dickhead.
Extraordinary technology, but when you look into what he's creating and the way that he's doing it, he's literally creating, in order to exit this matrix, we actually have to operate outside of it. So we can't go to, even with the journey that we've been on, this is the time where we need to come into
Matrix was a movie? It was a movie. The Matrix was a movie. Can you imagine? I think I might have said this before. Can you imagine if they said, I'm just going to take this random movie. What was a random movie? I don't know. Beethoven, right? I don't know. I thought of Beethoven. The one with the dogs, like the big dog and upsets the family. I haven't even seen that fucking movie. But imagine. Okay, so we've got to get out of Beethoven's, it's Beethoven's world. And what we really need to do is we really need to embrace what is Beethoven's world, He's a big dog, right? He's a big dog in a small world. And we're going to break out of that mentality, okay? Because we're big in a small world. Can you imagine? Okay? And also, these fucking ignorant people use The Matrix, which is a story about being trans. Like I'm done. Fucking done. I'm too worked up. It's like midnight and I need a shower. So I should probably be done for the day. But I'm like, the Wachowski sisters, okay, at the time, hadn't transitioned, all right? Definitely were feeling the gender dysphoria that existed. That's the red pill. And that's the blue pill, right? Is that I can't even remember. I've only seen The Matrix once. I watched it once. Because it's a fucking movie, all right? And it's about, accepting who you are as a person. Accepting being trans, which is what the Wachowski sisters were struggling with at the time, right? Okay, I'll do one more, and then I'm going to go to bed.
Hoping it really there is a resonance when we come together, and where we create new systems, and where we don't have to fight the old, we just step into and create the new and claim it. So when you can see with what David Schmidt's creating with some of this technology, and a lot of it is things that he's done not for profit, like cleaning up the world's oceans and other things that he's got going on, but all of it is extremely big picture, and it's all to do with harnessing energy and
Not for profit. Not for all the things he's doing, not for profit. Not for profit. Oh, what a magnanimous human being David Schmidt is. Oh, how do I become more like him? I mean, there is CEO worship and there's CEO worship. She's fallen fucking hard on that one. This is beyond ridiculous. I hope you are similarly raging with me because it's rage-worthy, right? But yeah, there is not a single MLM CEO who is not interested in a not-for-profit, like who's not interested in profit. If they weren't, they would just have normal companies. These businesses, these MLMs that are going out of business, well, changing to affiliate model, they actually, like they had a good run, and they squeezed a lot of money out of people, right? And like as much as I'm thinking of Carl Deichler from Body, Carl's doing fine. He has a lot of money, and he only stopped it now because he didn't want to put any more money in. And I've said it for a while, but that I thought that Monate, that the netters are actually putting their own money into it now because of how much it's dropped off. But they're going to have to pull pull the escape cord and get the hell out of there. And I think they'll be doing that very soon. So yeah, there's not a single, not one, not even half a person who runs an MLM who doesn't do it for the money. And I don't care what they fucking say. They can say, we're the mental illness people, blah, blah, blah. I'm doing this to help people. No, you're not. Because the MLM model is all about embracing late-stage capitalism and earning money. And doing it in a way that exploits people more than any other business model. Like, and that's why we're here. Hello, hello. All right, I'm going to leave it there for tonight. I think Murphy was trying to get down before, but yeah, I'm sorry I've been taking too long on this. Maybe I should do this as like a halvesies, and I will finish this video. Maybe, hey, because like, what more are we going to learn about these people? Yeah, maybe I'll leave it there, and then I might finish this. Like, if I get as pissed off as I clearly am, we'll see. But if I don't, please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe anyway. I lost subscribers because I want to talk about politics, but I don't care because I do want to talk about politics because it's important. All right, I'll either see you soon or tomorrow or whatever. I need to wind down because I'm too like. Ever since I found out that Chrissy Exord was pro-Trump, I've been angry. I'm angry. All right, bye.